So today I'm talking a little bit about Wonderflex, which is a really great cosplaying material. I've done a few tutorials with this stuff, so somebody requested that I do a video about the material itself. So this is a video about Wonderflex. So Wonderflex is a thermoplastic, which when heated up, you can bend it and shape it in any form you want, and then it will cool in that shape. So it makes it really handy for doing armor and stuff like that on costumes. So I don't usually use a lot of Wonderflex on my own costumes because I'm usually working on a budget of like $0. So basically I use like cardboard and craft foam and whatever's really cheap. But this stuff, I do take costume orders, so I like to use this stuff for costume orders because it's much stronger than craft foam or cardboard, and I don't have to worry about somebody breaking a costume when they buy the costume. So this is the stuff that I use when somebody buys a costume. An example is one of my more popular costume orders is people like to order the Darth Vader shoulder armor, and in the tutorial that I did, that one was for a family member, so I made that out of craft foam. But when people who are not related to me order costumes, I make it out of this stuff. And that way, I don't have to tell people that they have to be super careful. Like on my own costumes, I'm super careful because they're just craft foam and cardboard. But that way, when I sell a costume, they don't have to be super careful, and I don't have to worry about it breaking 5 minutes after they get it. So this is good stuff because it is a plastic. And if you watch the Captain America, his new arm shield tutorial, that was for an order, so I made it out of this stuff as well. So Wonderflex is sold by the yard. There are two kinds. There is the traditional Wonderflex, which is this stuff, and then this is a newly released one. This is the Wonderflex Pro. So the traditional Wonderflex has, it's got a little bit of texture, and the thing that's nice is that it's got this mesh backing on the back side of it. So it's got a smooth side and a mesh backing, and it makes it nice and strong. It holds shapes really well because it does have that mesh backing, which allows it to keep its strength. And it's got pretty good bend. I mean, you can bend it a bunch of different directions. You can't form like a sphere. You can't form a sphere with this stuff, but it's good for anything that you don't need a sphere for. And so this is Wonderflex Pro. This is the new stuff, and I'll zoom in on it here. You can see the texture is a lot smoother on this one, so you don't need as many coats of glue to cover it. Like I can usually get by with one, maybe two at the most, coats of glue over this, and it takes paint just fine. There is no mesh backing on this one, so this one you can use to form perfect half spheres like I did on the thermal detonator. And so basically how you use this stuff is you just heat it up. You can use a heat gun. I use my oven a lot of times, and I've even heard that hot water will work. I've never tried the hot water method, but I've heard that that's also an option. And then once you've got it hot, you lay it over a mold or bend it with your hands. It is hot when you're first using it, so if you're going to bend it with your hands, you just want to make sure it's cool enough to touch. But it stays pretty pliable for a reasonable amount of time, so you can usually get whatever shape you need formed before it cools, and then you just leave it over the mold or whatever you're using to hold it in place and let it cool, and then it will cool in whatever shape you put it in. So like I say, it's really great for armor and stuff. Another really cool thing about it is that this stuff will adhere to itself, so you don't even need glue to glue anything together. You just, when the pieces are hot, you can just hit two pieces together and they just stick right to each other. It's really great. It's time saving, very convenient, and I think it's a stronger hold than most glues are, so you don't have to worry about anything coming apart when you're wearing your costume. So like I said, don't really use it a lot on my own costumes because I'm usually working on like a pauper's budget, but for costume commissions, this stuff is great. I mean, it's such an asset for costume commissions, or if you only make like 1 or 2 costumes a year or something and you got a little more money to put into one of them, this stuff is great because it will hold together way longer than anything you'll make out of cardboard or craft foam. You don't have to worry about it breaking. You can use the same costume for years because this stuff will hold together great. If you want to try it yourself, you can go to wonderflexworld.com, and they have both the traditional and the Wonderflex Pro, and they also have fast shape, which if you saw my Jack Sparrow hat tutorial, that stuff is really cool. It's a felt that is also heat activated much like this, and it forms a lot of cool things. So that's also at the Wonderflex World, so check it out and see what you create.